All right, again, welcome everybody. And I'm going to turn the time over to Miss Rachel to tell us all the ins and outs and secrets of recruiting.
Hi everyone, hope you are all okay. You'll have to excuse my voice. I'm just back from a retreat and I've talked far too much. So my voice keeps going on me, but I will try my best to get through this. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Rachel Field. I'm a superstar director here in the UK, in England. I joined Scentsy in 2016, so I've been doing it 6 years now, and I still love it as much as the day I joined. And I think just getting back from retreat, I've got my mojo back as well, so I'm very excited. So I'm really pleased that I'm doing this today while I'm like on a high. So let's talk about recruiting. So some of you have teamies already, and some of you don't. I know we've got a massive mix on here. What I want you to do is I want you to start wherever you are. Don't think that because you haven't got teamies that you can't start now. Don't think that because you've got teamies that you can stop either. Start exactly where you are. So if you've got teamies, where did you find them? Who were they? Where were they? Did they approach you? Did you ask them? Did you advertise in order to get them? Were you having regular conversations? I want you to put it in the comments. Put it in the chat, sorry. Where were you finding those teams? If you already have teams, where did you find them? Were they customers? Were they friends? Were they family? Were they strangers? Did you find them online? Did they approach you? Did you approach them? Put it in the chat. If you don't have teamies yet, that's what I'm going to talk about first. So let's talk about where you find those first teamies. So for those of you that don't have teamies, I think the first step is absolutely you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in what you are offering. It's really difficult to get a teamie, to get your first one, if you don't believe in yourself, if you don't believe in the product, if you don't believe in the opportunity, and if you don't believe that there's anybody out there who wants to join. So the first step is you have to believe that you're offering something that other people want. So you joined the business, you wanted the business, you believed in yourself, you believed it could work. Others will too. Some people will come into the business with the belief, and some of them will need a little bit of encouragement, but it all starts with you believing that you have something to offer. And if you do, you're going to attract those people into your business. So that is super, super important. If you believe that nobody wants to join, that there's nobody out there who's looking for an opportunity, that nobody has any money to join, that nobody's interested in the product, that nobody's interested in the business, guess what? Nothing will happen. Nobody will join, because you won't be advertising, you won't be having those conversations, and you will not be attracting those people into your business. Those people aren't psychic. If you're not telling them that this opportunity exists and how great it is, how do they know? They're not sitting at home thinking, oh, I wonder whether you can join Scentsy. If you're not having those conversations and putting that out there, they don't know. They are not psychic. If you believe that you're offering something that everyone could benefit from, if you believe that it's the best thing ever, you're going to be excited and you are going to attract those people. It all starts with your mindset. You've got to have that positive mindset that people are going to do it. You've got to 100% believe that you've got something to offer that people want, and you've got to be excited to change lives. When I say changing lives, that can look like a lot of different things. Some people come into this business and change their life completely. It's their whole income, it's their whole future and everything. For some people, it might just be changing that little thing that changes their lives. It could be financial help. It could be help to pay the bills, to pay off a debt, to pay for a holiday, vacation, to pay for Christmas, to pay for childcare, to save for a wedding, to treat family to days out. That could be life changing to somebody. It could be that they're dropping their hours at work to 3 days a week. That could be life changing for somebody. It could be that they get to stay at home with their kids rather than go to work and pay for childcare. That is life changing for someone. You could help someone come into the business and make friends, gain confidence. That's huge for people. Find themselves again, battle loneliness, battle depression. That is life changing for someone. You could help someone with health issues, work from home. They might not be able to find a job elsewhere. They might have some kind of health issue that means that they need to be at home. You can help them get into work, help them make an extra income, help them find themselves again. Not everyone joins for income. I didn't join for income. Think about why you joined. What was it that made you join? What was it that made you said yes? And look for similar people. So when I say I didn't join for income, I was a wedding photographer full time. That was my dream job. That's what I always wanted to do. I never thought, oh, I'm going to join Scentsy and this is going to be a success. I was on maternity leave at the time and I was a little bit bored. I actually joined out of boredom. I also wanted 2 warmers, and the kit was a really good deal to get 2 warmers at a discounted price. I wanted to get my wax at a discounted price in the future. I knew I was going to be a customer, so I thought I might as well be my own customer. It was going to be a 2-month thing until I went back to work after maternity leave. And then everything changed. So look for similar people as to why you joined. So a lot of people I was attracting in the beginning were also on maternity leave. They saw that I could work this business from home. I was meeting them at baby groups. I was meeting them at maternity groups while I was pregnant. I was meeting them, though, I don't know what you call them. When you go into the hospital, when you're going to have a baby and they teach you how to breathe and blow the candles out. Yeah, because that works, doesn't it? When you go into hospital and all that, I was meeting people there. Making friends, adding them on Facebook. They were seeing I was doing Scentsy. So look for similar people. If you join to save up for a wedding, look for people who are getting married as well. They will see that you paid for your dress, paid for your cars, paid for your catering, and they will think, oh, I'm saving for a wedding. They did it, so I can do it as well. If you join to get free wax, look for similar people as well. The reason why you join is going to attract other people. So what I want you to do tonight, straight away after this call, don't wait till tomorrow because you'll forget and you'll not do it. But tonight after this call, I want you to get a pen and paper. I want to write down why you joined and all the ways that Scentsy has blessed your life, whether that be income, friends, free wax, building your confidence, paying for family days out, paying for vacations, whatever it is. Write down why you joined and all the ways that Scentsy has blessed you. I want you to get excited about your business again. I know some people are in a little bit of a lull at the moment. I need you to get excited before you can even start recruiting. Get grateful, get excited to bless somebody else with this opportunity, and that is going to attract them. That's going to be your first step. If you've got no recruits or if you've got recruits, that's what I want you to do. So we're going to talk about what to say with them. Just let me know. Yep, done that. Yep, done that. So we're going to talk about what to say. I know that's where a lot of people struggle. So when we are sorry, I've just missed a bit. So yeah, we're going to talk about what to say. We're going to talk about direct recruiting and indirect recruiting. There are 2 ways to recruit. So direct would be where you see someone on social media saying that they want to save up for a vacation, they want to save up for Christmas, and they don't know how. You could just pop them a message and say, I've just seen your post. I've got a great way that you can make an extra income. If you would like more information, let me know. That's direct. You're going directly to them. You may be on the schoolyard dropping the kids off at school and you overhear someone talking about how they wish they could go on holiday that year, or they've just lost their job, they're looking for an extra income, and you could say to them, I could help with that. Let me know if you want any more information. So I don't bombard them. I don't give them all of that information. I just directly go to them and I say, I can help. The ball's in their court, then they will come to you if they want help. Then you've got indirect. Now, indirect is my favorite. It's a little bit more sneakier way to do it, but it's definitely my way that I like to do it. So what I like to do is I like to make up a sample packs. So in my sample packs, I have a product sheet. Sorry, I should have had some with me. I have a product sheet and I have 2 samples, usually 2 wax samples, sometimes a wax and a wash waves. I make up loads and loads of samples. I'll make up 50 at a time, 20 at a time, whatever I've got in, work with what you've got. So I'll make up a load of samples and I will message people and I will say to them, I've just made up a load of free Scentsy samples. would you like fresh or would you like fruity? I'm not asking them if they want some. I'm saying to them, would you like fresh? Would you like fruity? You might have heard this before. This works for me. This is what I do all the time. Would you like fresh? Would you like fruity? They're going to reply saying, yeah, I'll have both. Yeah, I like fresh. Yeah, I like fruity. And then I would say to them, you don't know anyone looking to make an extra income or get their own Scentsy for free and half price, do you? You don't know anyone looking to make an extra income or get their Scentsy for free and half price, do you? That's what I say to them. Sometimes they're going to come back to me and say, yes, tell me more. How do I get my own Scentsy for free? Because like I said, not everyone joins for the income. Sometimes they're going to come back straight away and say, yes, I want an extra income. By me asking if they know someone, that opens it up to a wider audience as well. They might say, my cousin would be interested in that. My friends just lost their job. My mum loves Scentsy but can't afford it. She would love free wax. How can she do it? So first of all, I'm opening it up to other people, but also by asking if they know anyone that might be interested, it stops the automatic no, if that makes sense. Like if I say, do you want to join Scentsy? Do you fancy selling Scentsy? They might be like, no, because it's out of their comfort zone. They haven't thought about it before. It's putting someone on the spot. It's putting them a lot of pressure on them. But by saying you don't know anyone, I am asking if they want to join. That's who I want to join in the first place. But by saying, do you know someone, it takes the pressure off the direct ask of, do you want to join? It gives them a minute to think about. While they're thinking about who would be good at it, they're probably thinking, why is she not asking me? I'd be interested actually. And that's great. That's the response I want. Sometimes they'll say, oh, I can't think of anyone. And that's when I'll say, what about you? You would be amazing at Scentsy, because that sentence is so important. You would be amazing at Scentsy because. So before I go in with me direct and indirect, those are my two ways. I definitely go for indirect more often than not. Before I go in with that, one of the big important things that you want to be doing is writing a list. You want to be writing a list of people who you think would be amazing at Scentsy, and you want to be writing next to that a reason why. So what I do, I get my sheet of paper and I write their name, I write why they would be amazing at Scentsy, and then I write a column with date as well. So their name, why they'd be amazing, and date, and make it a reason why they would be amazing as well. Don't just make up a reason. Like if someone said to me, you'd be amazing because you're so organized, you're always on time. That's not me at all. So I would be like, no. But sorry, my daughter's just asleep next to me and she's waking up. She's all right, she's back to sleep. But if someone said to me, you would be amazing because you know loads of people, you're always on social media, that's true. I do know loads of people, I am always on social media. So I'd be thinking, yeah, I do know loads of people. I could put a post on, loads of people would see it, loads of people would like it. Make it a reason why they would be amazing. Don't just make up a random reason. When you're looking to get your names on your list, there's lots of ways that you can do that. Everyone talks about a list of 100. It doesn't have to be 100. Get it to as many as you can. Get more than 100 if you can. Don't stop at 100. If you can only get 20, you can only get 20. That's fine. You can only get 50. That's fine as well. Start where you are. You can always build that throughout your journey through this business. So you want to look at the positives all the time when you're writing your list. So if you think of someone, don't think, oh, they're a stay-at-home mom, they're always busy, they don't go out to work, they've never had a job. Don't look at negatives, see that as a positive. If someone's a stay-at-home mom, or if someone is just at home, doesn't have a job, you might want to look at that like they can be on social media more. They've got more time to make samples. They're at home more. They're not restricted to a work schedule. They can have more time at home to plan, to take photos, to be on social media. Look at the positives. Don't think someone works full time so they're not going to have time to do this. Busy people make the best consultants. If they're meeting lots of people each day in their job, they might work in a hospital or a school, coming into contact with lots of people. That's lots of ways that they can hand out samples, get borrow baskets and things like that out. They would make great consultants. Don't think, oh, someone's got loads of kids so they don't have enough time. Their kids are all at different schools, different after school clubs, different activities. Again, they're coming into contact with more people. Busy people make the best consultants. When you write your list, you want to be thinking about friends, family, neighbours, people on Facebook, people at school, so teachers and parents of your kids, people who you work with currently, people who you've worked with in the past, customers make the best consultants. The reason why customers make the best consultants is because they already love the product. They're already sharing the product with friends and family. They might have had parties before. They've got a network of people that know that they're using the products and love the products already. So if they then go on to sell it, people will be like, oh my God, they think it's so good that it's worth selling. They love the product so much. You don't have to convince them that the product's good because they already know that it is. That network of people that they've been sharing your things on Facebook with. So they might have shared, just got my Scentsy order, so excited to warm it. People have been watching that already. So they're building up their audience already. And then when they join, that's going to enhance that. I know people are worried about losing a customer. They're worried about losing that income, about losing that sale each month. I promise you it'll be way more if they were to join. If they join, they might sell 500 or more a month. They might sell 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 a month. You don't know what they're going to do with the business. They might want to recruit 100 people. That next person that you recruit, that customer, might be your next rock star. They might completely change your business. They might not, but they might, and you don't know until they join. If they join, they're bringing new people into the business. If they then decide it's not for them in a month and they decide that they just want to go back to being your customer, I don't see that as a bad thing. You cannot lose by recruiting a customer. If they come into the business and they make a success of it, amazing, that's what you want. If they come in and it's not for them and they prefer being your customer and they like just ordering from you, that's fine as well. Tell them to give it a month, tell them to give it a couple of months and see how it goes. In that time, they're going to have a launch party, they're going to have borrow baskets out, they're going to gain at least 10, 15, 20 customers. If they decide it's not for them, what I say to them is, I'll look after your customers until you decide to come back again in the future. I'm gaining them back as a customer. I haven't lost them. And they brought 20 people with them or more people with them that will then become my customers. And I can look after them until they come back. I can see if they want to join the business. They're bringing new people in all the time. So I never see recruiting a customer as a bad thing, and I don't think you should either. If I look at most of my teamies came from past customers. Another thing I wanted to say is do not be scared of the word no. I know a lot of people don't recruit, don't ask people because they are terrified of no. No is not a scary word. And no is usually a no just for now. I always use the analogy of a waiter. You might have heard this before, but I'll use it again. If you go to a restaurant and the waiter offers you dessert and you don't fancy dessert that day, you're going to say no. I know who doesn't fancy dessert. It's crazy, isn't it? But just think some people don't. You just might be too full that day. You don't fancy dessert that day and you're going to say no. It's the waiter's job to ask you to upsell the product, to ask you if you want dessert. It's his job to do that. It's your job to offer the Scentsy opportunity, not just to sell, to offer that opportunity as well. If it's not for somebody that day and they say no, that's fine. It is just a no for now. You might go to that restaurant a week later and you do want dessert that day. If the waiter doesn't offer you dessert that day, you're going to be disappointed because you are already thinking about the dessert. It's their job to ask you again. They're not going to not ask you again because you said no last time. They're not going to be hurt and crying in the corner. They're going to ask you again because it is their job to ask you again. And that might be the day that you want dessert. You've got to see that as your business. Just because you ask someone and they say no, it doesn't mean that they're going to say no forever. Most of the people that joined my business said no first time. Think about when you joined as well. Did you say no first time? Did you say yes first time? How long did it take you to actually do that join? A lot of people in my team actually said no for 6 months or more. Some of them said no for a year or more, but then they said yes. So keep going back to it. The retreat that I've just been at this weekend was a perfect example of that as well. When we talk about follow-up with our customers, we're usually talking about the product, but I want you to think about following up with people who you've asked in the past before. And this is the reason. So at the retreat at the weekend, there was a girl there called Sarah, who's a director, fantastic director. Her sales are amazing. And she lives quite close to me, like within an hour away. Most of my teamies live very close to me. But she joined with someone who lives maybe 4 or 5 hours away, who I know, lovely girl. She's joined with her and she's on her team. And we got chatting about how she joined and how she found her. She just randomly found her online one day. She was thinking about joining. She looked online and she found her. Great. When we got home, she added me on Facebook and I sent her a message saying it was lovely to meet you this weekend and let's catch up in the future. When I sent her that message, I noticed that I'd previously messaged her before. When I scrolled up to see what I'd messaged her before, because we weren't friends before, I'd actually sent her join information in 2017. The message that I'd sent her was what I would send people if they liked one of my posts. I used to do recruiting posts, sometimes paid posts, sometimes on selling pages. And anyone who liked or commented on those posts, I would send them some join information, and that's what I'd sent her. So I knew she must have liked one of my posts in the past. That message had sat unread in her what's it called, like message requests, because we weren't friends. So she clearly just hadn't opened it. That had sat unread since 2017. She saw that I'd messaged her. I saw that I messaged her. So I was like, oh my goodness, can you see I messaged her? And she said she didn't join until 2020. Now, had I been a better consultant and had I made a list of the people who I'd contacted about joining with the vision to follow up with them in a few months to see if they thought about it, she might have seen the second message request where I had asked if she'd thought about it and if she had any questions. That's what I should have done. That's what I'm going to do in the future, because I could have had her as a recruit in 2017, not in 2020 when she eventually joined, because she thought about it for a while. And then when the time was right, she joined. If I'd just followed up, she would have had 3 years extra in the business and she would have been under me and not under someone else. So that blew my mind. So I'm definitely going to be following up with people who have asked to join, as well as with customers who are buying the product. So definitely don't be scared of no. It is just a no for now. It's literally your job to ask. Don't just ask once. The average time it takes people is 7 times. Don't just be like, do you want to join? Do you want to join? Do you want to join? And annoy people. When you drop their order off, you can say things like, could have got this for free, could have got this half price. You can even do those things. I know a lot of consultants do it, where if someone orders a big order, they put in, thank you so much for your order, just to let you know, if you were a consultant, you would have earned this much on this order. You could even do it annually. You could do it every year for your customers. You could say, thank you so much for being a customer this year, just to let you know, this year's worth of orders, you would have earned this much commission. That will blow some people's minds. That will be the deciding factor that makes people join. So think about things like that, about planting that seed, about mentioning it with each order that you drop off, or each year, or each 6 months. Just say to them what they could have earned with that order. I am nearly done. Sorry, I know I talk a lot. The last thing I wanted to talk about was a little bit about the host join kit and how to use that. So I'm just get comfy. Oh, sorry, one more thing before I go into that. When you are talking to someone about joining, about the opportunity about joining, do not give them the history of Scentsy. You want to keep it as simple as you possibly can. You're not trying to impress them as well. Don't be braggy with it. I don't even know if braggy is an American word, but don't be braggy with it. Don't be like, oh, I've been on 17 holidays. I earn 17 million pound a month. It's so easy. You don't even have to do anything. You just earn money. Don't be like that with it. What you need to be is you need to be relatable. I'm dropping you, sorry. Just trying to get comfy. What you need to be is you need to be relatable. So you need to not try and impress them, to not be saying all of these things that you can get with very little effort. You need to make it about them. The join opportunity is all about them. It's not about you. So you need to work out what they could get from the business, why they would be amazing at the business, and make it about them. And you can relate it back to you. So you could say, oh, I know you're looking to not go back to work full time after maternity leave. That's exactly what I did. I used it to help pay for childcare, but I also used it to drop my hours at work so that I could stay at home more. Make it relatable about how you've done that. Not, unattainable but relatable to what they would look for out of the business and how they could get there and make it achievable. So the last thing I want to talk to you about is the host join kit. So I use this all the time. Originally, the host join kit will have been for if you were doing a home party and they decided to join, you would use the host join kit for that as part of the credit. What I use it for is borrow baskets. That is my best way of getting someone to join. So what I do is I try and break it down a little bit. So rather than them having to get 200 PRV, which to some people feels like a lot in order to get that kit at a discounted price, I break it down to 100 PRV. So I make up borrow baskets and I give them out in twos. So I will go on a Wednesday and I will go on a Monday at the moment. I think I'm doing, Wednesday, Monday. So I'll give 2 out at a time. I try and get my borrow baskets out at least once a week and get them out in twos. When I get to the door, I give them a challenge. So I'll say, they just think they're borrowing the products and leave me a review. That's how I get them to have them. When I get to the door, I will give them a challenge and I'll say, look, if you can get 100 PRV, so whatever that equates to in your country, so that'll be $100 for year one. It's a bit more over here for us. So work it out for your region, 100 PRV. If you can get $100 in sales over the next week, you can have any warmer in the catalogue for half price. That's a challenge that I like to give them at the door. I'm not putting it public on social media. It's a one-to-one at the door. It's something that I give them there and then. I give them an easy way to do that as well. So I'll make up my sample packs. I'll put 10 of those in. I'll say, look, hand these sample packs out to friends and family. Follow up with them again in a couple of days. Tell them you're putting an order in. See if they want anything. That's going to get you 100 PRV and you will get any warmer in the catalogue for half price. I also now say to them, if they can get 50 PRV, $50, whatever it is in your region, they can have a free wax bar. So they're at least going to come back with 50 PRV because they want the free wax. Usually they come back with 100. So because I'm giving 2 out at a time, when I collect those in, like I say, usually they've got the 100 PRV each. I'll put that in as a party order, so the 200 PRV party. One gets a perpetual party reward and one gets a half price for the warmers, not costing me anything at all. Those half prices are there to be used. And then I'll pick the one that was the best. Who asked the best questions? Who do I think will make the best consultant? Sometimes it's really hard because they're both great. Flip a coin if you need to. And say to that person, go to them, say, I'm putting my order in the next 2 hours. You've got your half price item, but also I've got a host join kit. You've already been the consultant this week. It eliminates all of the excuses. That's one thing that I love about this process. When you do this, they can't say, I haven't got time. That's my biggest one. I haven't got time to do this business. They've got time because they've proved that they've got time. They can't say, I don't know anyone, I can't get any orders. They do know people and they've gone out and got orders. They literally can't say that. There's no excuse other than it's not the right time for me. That's the only excuse that there would be. If they say it's not the right time for me, that's fine. I'll say, when is a better time? So when I was talking about my list before and I said I do the name, the reason and the date, the reason I do that is because if it's not the right time for them, they'll say, ask me in January, let me get Christmas out of the way, ask me in January, that'll be a better time for me. I'll write it down. It's giving you permission to go back to them. They might say September, when the kids go back to school, that'll be a better time for me, I'll have more time then. They might say, I've got a lot going on this month, but next month ask me. I've also got a second person to ask because I gave out 2 borrow baskets. I don't go to them and I'm not like, right, I've asked someone else, they've said, no, you're my second choice. I go to them with the same thing. You've been a consultant for a week already. You've proved that you can get sales. I think you would be amazing because I've got this kit available. I'm putting my order in the next 2 hours. By saying the next 2 hours, it gives them a time frame as well. It's not like have a week to think about. A lot can happen in a week. They can talk themselves into it. They can talk themselves out of it. They can speak to other people who will talk them out of it. We all get them people who talk to someone, they're like, no, it's a pyramid scheme, don't do it. Anti-MLMers, all of this. Give them the 2 hours. That's enough time for them to get excited and join and not talk themselves out of it. Out of the 2, one of them's going to say, yes, that works for me time and time again. You've probably heard me talk about before, but it works so well with the borrow baskets. So that is what I do to get sales. I'm just checking that I've covered everything. I think I have it. Has anyone got any questions about anything that I've talked about or even about anything that I haven't? Yeah, covered it all. Any questions? chat.
Yeah, I was like, we did have one from Cameron. I don't think you covered this. When you're gonna follow up, how much time would you give before you follow up again?
So with the example that I gave about Sarah, who I met at the weekend, so in 2017, I'd sent her the message. So in hindsight, I should have followed up with her. This is where I'm going to change my process. I'm going to have a notebook specifically for people who I want to join, and I'm going to put in everyone who I contact. Because at the minute I just kind of do that with my list of 100. Sarah obviously wasn't on my list of 100. She just messaged me out of the blue. So what I'm going to do there is I'm going to have a book, and every 3 months I'm going to follow up with those people who've contacted me. I kind of get a date for it. So if I've spoke to them by doing the borrow basket, if the timing's not right for them, I get a date from them. So I'll say, when would be better for you? I kind of give them the option to do that. So I would do that date. If I've just asked a customer, then there's no specific date on it, but I'm kind of following up with every order that I give them. So I'm like, could have got this for free, could have got this half price. So I would say monthly, if not every 2 months, I do it with people intentionally.
Okay. What do you put in your borrow basket?
So in my borrow basket, I have a warmer of some kind, either a mini warmer or a big warmer. Use what you've got. I even use old warmers sometimes, just whatever I've got in. I'm just trying to introduce fragrance into their home. So don't think that you've got to start with everything. Basic things, a warmer or a mini warmer. Then I'll put in my sample packs, which is, the clear what you put birthday cards in, like the cellophane with the sticky thing. I have one of those, and I'll put in a product sheet and 2 samples, usually 2 wax samples. But if I haven't got 2 wax samples, I'll put in a wax and a washer whiffs. Use what you have. I'll put in an empty tub of washer whiffs with 1 scoop in. So whenever I'm finished with my washer whiffs, I keep the tubs. I've got a stash of them, and I'll put 1 scoop in for them to use so they can see the size of the washer whiff tub, but they don't use all of my product. Same with Scentsy Fresh. My own personal Scentsy Fresh, when it's coming to the end of the bottle, I'll put that to one side there for my borrow basket so that they can use them, see what they're like, and see the size of the product without using it all. And I do the same with wax bars. So I'll put in a full wax bar, but it's only got 1 or 2 cubes in. So as I'm using my own personal stash, I will go through, and whenever it gets down to 1 or 2 cubes, and I know that it's some like a popular wax that'll do well in the borrow basket, I'll put that to one side, and that's what I put in mine. I usually put 1 catalogue in, but like I said, put 10 of those sample packs in if you can, 5 if you can't put 10 in, whatever you can afford to do, whatever you can put in, put those in, because that's going to help with that challenge of them handing them out and following up. What you're doing is you're training them to be a consultant, so that if they do join, they know what to do. They can duplicate that system of borrow baskets, 10 sample packs, hand them out, or they can just do the sample packs without the borrow basket part. You're training them up ready for when they join. You're making it as simple as possible. Make it look easy, and they'll join.
So far, I think that was it. Dawn wanted to know when she could rewatch it. And we'll have the recording available. My internet sometimes takes a hot minute, so sometimes it takes a little bit for it to upload, but it'll be available tomorrow for all of y'all to rewatch over and over and over. Any other questions? I know I took some notes because the recruiting is something that I have not always been good at. And so I always love learning more tips on how to be better at it.
I think mindset's a massive thing at the minute, and I don't always include that in my training, but I think it's massive at the moment. I think everyone's in a little bit of a lull, everyone's a little bit stuck in their business, everything's a bit in. You have to get excited about it again. And I've been doing that over the last month. Like, I do train on recruiting a lot, but I haven't been recruiting at the level that I have in the past. And I've noticed it. And going away to this retreat, it's all about mindset. That's what I've come away with. And I'm restarting my whole business, not my whole business again, but I'm refreshing all my systems. I am upgrading everything. And it starts with mindset. You've got to get excited about it. You've got to get your mojo about it. You've got to have that excitement and that buzz, and believe that you are offering something that other people want, to attract that into your business. You've got to.
I have a question. So
Yeah.
what's maybe a low month of recruiting for you and then a high month, just so we can
So
get
a low month will be 0. I think the most I've recruited in a month is, there was one month I got 13 new recruits and 4 reinstatements. I think that was my highest month. Yeah, and it's tough when you get that many, because my recruiting's better than my onboarding. So I'm working on my systems for when they come in. I recruit high, but not everyone stays in the business. So that is something that I'm working on. I was talking to Sarah Speechley. She came to our retreat as well. She recruited 18 last month. That's insane. So I'm now in a mindset where I need to beat that number because I don't like competition. But yeah, we were talking about the difference between the months that we recruit 2 or 3 and the months that we recruit 18. And she said it's tough to keep on top of 18 people. It is a lot. Don't think that you have to come here. Don't think that you have to go there. Just start with 1. Start with where you're at. Start with 1. I think 3 is a nice number. I also like to recruit in bulk because I like to train in bulk and I like to put them into groups as well. So if I was to get 5 in a month, for example, I would put them in a chat group together so they can bounce ideas off each other. They can see how each other are working their business. I really don't like to recruit someone, start the process of going through and today do this, today do this, then 4 days later get someone else and then start at the beginning with them, but I'm 5 days ahead with them. And then, so I do like to do it in one day, which I know sounds crazy, but I just block out all of my time and I focus on one thing. We talked about on one of these calls, we talked about multitasking and how it's really hard to do 10 different things at once. So I do like to do one thing at a time. So if I have 5-6 hours free, I go at the pub or in my office and I lock myself away, no distractions. Sometimes my phone's on airplane mode so people can't even contact me, and I'll decide that that day I'm going to recruit and I'll do it all at once. I'll get my messages out, I'll get my follow-ups out, I'll go through my list, I'll write my list, I'll rewrite my list, I'll go back to people who've said this date will be better for me in January. So in January, I'll go through all of them and I try and get them all in one day. I try and put them in that group so that they can support each other. That helps me as well, because if they're asking a question in that group, yes, I'm there to answer, but I wait a little bit to see if they answer each other, see if they can figure it out for themselves, because that makes a better consultant. If they can figure out things for themselves, yeah, it just makes them better rather than depending on me all of the time. So I do like to bulk recruit. So try it. It might work for you as well.
I love that. I've never even thought about bulk recruiting, so that's a good idea. All right, any last minute questions before we let y'all go? Just a quick reminder that Ascend Lounge is tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. All of the links and everything to it are posted in our groups. And then if you want to join last minute to our book club, we are reading You Are a Badass Every Day by Jen Sincero. I mean, it's like the size of my face, and my face isn't that big. So it's a good, quick, easy read. So you have plenty of time to join in and listen to it on Audible, or run over to the store and grab it, or get it on Amazon and then just join us for book club. But thank you so much, Rachel, for staying up, because I know it's late where you're at. And thank you for all of the tips and ideas that you gave us. And thank you everyone for joining us tonight, and I will see you guys later. Bye guys.